and when the Earth needed him most, he returned. Holy shit. It's been an absolutely wild past 5 years for Littlebigplanet, what with the servers being DDoSed, games delisted, Steven Isbell leaving his community position not too long ago, and a bunch of other shit, like SACKBOY Big Adventure seemingly being the silent send-off for the series and ASTRO becoming the new face of PlayStation platforming. Basically, we thought this was it. No more Littlebigplanet. But this game series is simply too special to let die in such a vile and disrespectful way, and it's clear Media Molecule still thinks this too. Tweeted it out this morning, the official game soundtracks for LBP 1 and 2 are going to be put on streaming. Now who knows how long this has been in the works, but what does this mean? Well, all the licensed tracks like Café Tacubas and the Go Team, they're fine. Cherry, been like that for years. They're pre-existing, they got their own rights with their own respective labels, but one thing Littlebigplanet fans have been asking for years is, where the fuck can we get the official soundtrack? At least legally. And for the longest time, the answer has been nowhere really, except for YouTube playlists and like SoundCloud. But you couldn't listen to stuff like The Gardens, The Wilderness, The Factory of a Better Tomorrow on Apple Music or Spotify. It was a fucked up world we were living in. And honestly, it still kind of is, but this gives me hope for a better tomorrow. Because past the 28th of February of 2025, this music, this art, is now on streaming. This is how I'm gonna be every day after this Friday. Composed by Kenneth Young, I'm gonna shed some light on him, because every time a big YouTuber talks about this series, they all talk about Get It Together, right? Sleepyhead, right? Fucking, and the Tafanyang controversy. All the licensed stuff. But this man here made the original music for the game. Stuff that really brought these environments to life, gave them character, encapsulated where you were in Craft World, and were featured in countless community levels. It was the soundtrack to our childhood. And the only time I've ever seen them discussed was from this banger-ass video from ages ago. Kenny made magic. You're not gonna hear anything else like this, especially nowadays, and this ain't your grandma's video game OST. This is Littlebigplanet. It holds energy, love, memories for so many around the world, and though I think in this new age of ignorance and laziness, easier access accommodations maybe aren't the move to foster a healthier mind, but if putting this soundtrack on convenient and more modern platforms means that more people are going to discover the soundtrack and listen to it and invest themselves in the games, then fuck yeah. Maybe Littlebigplanet 4 isn't coming, maybe Sackboy really is just retired and he's just doing fuck-ass YouTube side quests. But at least we have another way to access the music that we grew up around. You can blast Da Vinci's Hideout while you're cooking up some new ideas at your desk, or crank up the wedding when you finally tie the knot. Just don't leave the room for too long or you might have to deal with a scoldozer. I only wonder, how's it going to sound? Because we're all familiar with the tunes, but they were interactive. Interactive, if you can't recall, you could change the instrumentation and the atmosphere of the song by just changing the volume up and down on the pre-recorded tracks and loops. So are they all going to be like one song, or are we going to get different combinations? I don't know. I'm excited though. It's been so long since we've gotten any Littlebigplanet content, I think I'm gonna get excited over any acknowledgement or announcement. We're starving. And you know what? I've always been a Littlebigplanet 4 conspiracy theorist. I think it's gonna happen. Maybe in the near future, or maybe when I'm all old and gone. But there is a market for this shit. We've seen ASTRO, and Littlebigplanet still has an online presence, albeit smaller than it used to be, but I think if this fuck can get re-elected and the world can plummet to shit, and then this happens, anything can happen in the big 2025. Let's see. Year of Sackboy? What do you think, dog? And another thing. I wonder how this will affect content creators using the music in their own content, like now. Like I stream with this OST in the background because I know it won't get auto-detected by YouTube's shit-ass copyright system. But maybe those days are over now. Oh well. Sacrifices for the greater good, I guess. And before I forget, if you haven't read Kenneth Young's article about the licensed tracks for LBP 1 and 2, you absolutely should. It's a treat to read if you're a fan of the series or music in general, and I'll link it in the description. That being said, I better catch your ass in Avalonia once this shit hits streaming. Like and subscribe for more Littlebigplanet, motherfucker.